On May 23, it will be 10 years since a man named Harrison Okene survived 3 days at the bottom of the sea in the wreck of a ship. But how this man turned his life into a scariest part of his journey at the sea, with no water, no food, it's just only a bottle of Coke. In this video, we will talk about how Harrison Okene survived the most violent place on Earth, the sea. But before we continue, please subscribe to this channel, as I'll post every single day. The 29-year-old had been trapped in the freezing cold and pitch-black darkness 100 feet beneath the ocean surface for 60 hours. He is believed to have been just hours from death when he was found. It was very unexpected and a total shock to find someone alive after the vessel sank days before. Nico van Heerden, the diver who found Okene. He was not the first person we came across, though. Before we found him, we found and recovered the bodies of 3 of his colleagues that perished during the incident. Very tragic indeed. The vessels do sink, and people die, but to find someone alive after so long does not happen. I've never heard of it happening before. Okene was a cook on a tugboat named the Ghastly 4. The small boat was on its way to a nearby oil tanker, about 19 miles off the west coast of Nigeria, when a large wave suddenly capsized the vessel. Okene said, "We had been sailing for many years, we knew the sea, we had never had any issue before." Okene began rushing through the ship but found many of the doors were locked. But why all the door was locked? In her training, to prevent pirates from entering all the room, you need to lock always the door at all times. And because of that, Okene rushed to save herself, and go someone in the place that can maybe he's alive until the rescue come in. He became trapped inside a toilet in the office's cabins as water poured into the ship and could not escape as the ship began to sink to the bottom of the sea. By some stroke of luck, an air pocket stayed intact inside the toilet. He could breathe but was in total darkness and aching cold. Underwater it was so cold, he said. I was struggling to stay alive, wondering how long the air pocket would last me. I was thinking about my family, my wife, what would happen, how would she live, how can I get out, thinking about my life as well. Okene tried to find his way out of the underwater maze but to no avail, using a rope to find his way back to his air pocket when he ran out of breath. I was praying a lot, he said. Being trapped in the cold in only his underwear, with dwindling air and no food or water, Okene was in huge danger of carbon dioxide toxicity as well as facing thirst, hunger and hypothermia. And because of that, he saw a small bottle of Coke that can drink to her thirsty may be gone. But in some point, Harrison Okene blind for the darkness. At one point Harrison Okene heard banging the ship, but he didn't know if it's a rescuer or a shark. That maybe he and all my fellow colleagues was in danger, he said. After 3 days battle in the darkness, at the depth of the ocean, with no good air, with no food, no water, and also a good sleep, he survived, with ease. Just only trust herself. Trust her in God, and also 1 bottle of Coke. Mr. Okene is lucky to have survived. In that time, the temperature of the water at a 30-meter depth can lower one's body temperature to lethal levels within minutes to hours. Divers always wear insulated suits to retain body heat in cold water. Since he was trapped in an air pocket, it's possible he was able to lift himself partially out of the water. If only his legs were submerged, this would greatly prolong his ability to maintain body temperature in that environment. After around 60 hours spent waiting, Okene said, he heard knocking on the side of the boat and saw a beam of light in the darkness. A team of divers had descended 100 feet to the wreck to recover the bodies inside. Okene reached out and gently tapped one of the divers, Van Heerden, on the arm, attempting to not scare him. When he came, I was just crying, Okene said. Because of the depth of the wreck, Okene was at risk of decompression sickness, or the bends, if he returned to the surface too quickly, especially with the increased level of nitrogen in his blood from being down so deep for so long. This is a condition often risked by divers and is caused by nitrogen dissolved in the body's blood and tissues. This can lead to muscle and joint pain, dizziness, paralysis and even death. Okene was guided into the diving bell by the divers before being placed in a decompression chamber at the surface, where he remained for 3 days. In continued, Harrison Okene was live and he's also diver too. And he thanks so much to all the diver who not stop, until he found him. I hope this video will help you. And make sure to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit the like button. Have a great day. And see you in the next video.